What did you learn going through that?
Never work with women.
Oh, come on.
There's truth in every joke, but it's a sad truth. Like, I will never be alone in a room with a woman that I work with, like ever again. It's too risky.
Welcome back to the channel. We need to get active on this conversation. Jason Derulo, you guys are unfamiliar, singer, songwriter, I believe he's a dancer also as well, entertainment figure. He's been having a heck of a time over the past couple of years after being hit with multiple lawsuits, specifically sexual harassment lawsuits, and he finally sat down to give an interview on his side of the story and is currently going viral because he said, and I quote, "I will never work with women again." A lot of people are calling this a shocking statement, where others are not surprised considering the lawsuits against him. I want you guys to stay locked into this conversation because we're also going to go over information that I have found in the space on what really is happening behind scenes in regards to these infamous lawsuits, and as well as we need to have a conversation in regards to men and women sharing the same workplace. Let's get active on this one. Without further ado.
And then they post that then you don't post the dismissal. It got dismissed twice. You didn't post the second one, you didn't post the first one. Damn.
There was a lawsuit not too long ago by an artist that was like hired to your label that was dismissed.
Twice.
What did you learn going through that?
Never work with women.
Oh, come on.
There's truth in every joke. But it's a sad truth. Like, I will never be alone in a room with a woman that I work with, like ever again.
What?
It's too risky. That case was dismissed twice in two different states. And there's hardly no mention of it online. When that case was brought up, it was on every single blog, every single front page. And I lost so many brand deals, relationships off of a story that was not even slightly believable. She said I sacrificed a goat in a sexual ritual. All people read was the headline, right? And that's all it takes to lose everything.
Come on.
That's a crazy concept.
Yeah.
I lost millions of dollars.
Listen, guilty until proven innocent, especially if you're a man that is being accused of a woman of some sort of sexual impropriety. And that's the saddest part about all of this, is that during your downfall, they will all be there to relish in the narrative, but they will never be there once your case has been dismissed, once there's been vindication, because the vindication ain't as sexy as the downfall. And watching stories like this reminds me that we're still in this believe all women era, and they've given so much power within that movement, unchecked power, to accusations. And these mainstream media organizations will run with it to the tune of you losing your livelihood. In Jason's situation, losing millions of dollars. So when a man says that he's scared of situations of being alone with women, I absolutely understand him. But I always talk about a man's purpose needs also to consider ways to mitigate risk. Back in my corporate America days, I would make sure if it was meetings being scheduled and it was just me and a woman, I would more often than not put it in a meeting room. It would be us virtually talking, or if we had to be in a meeting room, I would try to figure out someone else on the team that can be present, that can also call in if they could not be present, in an attempt to mitigate my risk. Let's listen to more.
Of the arbitrary story that some woman told. Like a crazy, crazy story that some woman told. So, with that being said, how can I be comfortable being in a room with a woman that I work with and not feel like she can just say whatever she wants? It's like, it's not worth it to me.
When you're in that and losing millions of dollars in brand deals, how are you figuring out how to navigate that?
Man, it's really less about the money. Like, the money, man. Like, I have one name that I work so hard to stay clean and stay clean cut. And then like somebody can just say, like you can just say anything. That's the world we live in. You can just say anything and people take it as gospel. Why was it that those same blogs, those same pages, why didn't they post a dismissal at least?
First off, Jason, stop lying. It is also about the money. And if it wasn't, then you wouldn't have mentioned that you lost millions of dollars. But it's obvious that you lose so much more in tandem with the money. There's the power, the status, the fame, and the attention as well, which is exactly why the more that you have to lose in this game, the more that you have to move intelligently. Because the higher that you are, the more that the vultures can see you. And they're just waiting on a weak moment, a sloppy decision, or a messy situation to strike. Now, you have the money to fight situations like this, Jason, to all of my average to above average guys up there that don't have funds for lawyers. Understand that you must mitigate risk as you gain, for it'll be your little head that'll get you in way more trouble than your logically thinking big head.
Wouldn't that be fair? If you posted
Well, because that's not going to get the clicks.
That's so, bro. It's so terrible. So it like people don't talk about the hardships of men, but it's a really, really tough place to be in, especially like when you have something to lose. Like it's a really, really tough place to be in. We talked about my past relationships and them saying things about me that I haven't responded to. We talked about lawsuits that I haven't really been able to respond to. I really want to respond to the blogs, if you want to be honest. I want to tell them, like, what the is wrong with y'all? Like, after all of these years,
why don't you come up here?
Like, that I've done, it's
the
been
blogs
places
ain't gonna
that
care,
I've done interviews with, and like, I've just been so kind and like generous with my time.
They don't care.
And then they post that then you don't post the dismissal. It got dismissed twice. You didn't post the second one, you didn't post the first one. Damn.
Yeah.
Like, none of that is crazy.
Quick emergency meeting. I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much personal information, which brought me down this weird rabbit hole of how that could have happened, and found out that there's companies out there called data brokers that will sell your data to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. And it's a nasty, disgusting feeling knowing that there's bad actors out there selling my information, selling your information for profit. But that's why I'm recommending today's sponsor, Aura. Now, I use Aura to automatically remove my information from these sites and keep my information off. But they do other things as well, such as bank fraud and identity theft alerts, VPN access. But guys, utilize my link down in the description box down below for a 14-day trial. At least see if you've been compromised. Privacy is king in this day and age, and you should know if your information is out there. So again, utilize my link, aura.com/MTR, in the description box down below to try 2 weeks free. That's way more than enough time to see if your personal data has been exposed. Go now. Dog, imagine trying to go to a goddamn shade room or some shit like that, or begging them on an interview of why they didn't post your shit, instead of trying to be accepted by blogs that are notorious for not giving a shit about men, and it will continue to post up not even the most ratchet components of society, but then also content that always placates to the behaviors or the eyes of women. Why not just say bump that and go places like here in order to talk about this? One of the many reasons of why this platform exists is to not only share solutions that give value to men, but also to share stories to help them understand meaning in that value. And I continue to push that this is about believe all women as opposed to believe any human being, but to believe the truth, because that's where it lies. Now, I've done a little bit of research into this entire situation just to cross-reference some of the things that he's saying on this interview with the truth, and I found some very interesting things out.
He allegedly tells her that if she wants to, quote, make it in the music industry, she would have to take part in a goat skin and fish scales, and that is a direct quote in the lawsuit. And it says the plaintiff was confused and asked what that meant. Derulo explained it was a Haitian reference, essentially describing ritualistic sex acts, the sacrifice of a goat and its blood, and cocaine use. It then goes on to allege that the crudeness and timing of this comment made its meaning clear. Derulo was propositioning plaintiff for sex and hard drugs as a quid pro quo for his mentorship.
The difference with all of these, and this is one we have not talked about, is what's called quid pro quo harassment. That's basically a Latin phrase that means this for that, which means very simply, you want this, I want to get laid. If I get laid, you'll get this. And that's what makes it sexual harassment. You are basically prostituting, if you will, somebody who wants something. So you're saying you want to be in the music industry? I'll get you in it if you have sex with me. It is very simple. She's saying this was very specific. We got to get the goats. We got to do this. And if we do this, then you'll get what you want. So that's quid pro quo. This for that.
Now, of course, Jason denies all of these allegations and calls them defamatory. Let's just say for a second that he did say these things. Remember what he said in that first clip? He said, all jokes have some sort of truth. Could it be that he said it as a joke and in the back of his mind, he's thinking, unless you go and do it, which continues to remind me is that within these settings, when the expectation is professional, you treat it as such. Don't you dare throw out any sexual comedy type jokes because they may turn it into this later on. And the reason why I bring this up is that although Jason talks about that the case was dismissed twice, it was dismissed in both California and Nevada due to procedural reasons, due to technical reasons, with both states agreeing that they were the incorrect venues for the lawsuit. This is the young lady that is levying the accusations against him. I believe she goes by Amaza. You can see her over here. Actually, it looks like she just looked like she had a baby not too long ago. Yep, there she is. Nevertheless, if you go down to one of her posts, you'll read that she reinstated the lawsuit to occur in New York. And she writes here, far from over. Now, this was back in September 19th. And if you go up to her post up here, she reviews all of the public court documents and as well as the timeline. Feel free to be able to pause this to read it if you won't, but I'm not going to take your guys' time in doing this. She provides all of the receipts from her perspective and as well as a timeline of events to the right. And this was posted just 19 hours ago. So unfortunately appears to be far from over for Mr. Jason Derulo. Make sure you guys are subscribed and locked to the channel because this is a story that I will definitely follow up on to report as more information becomes real. For all of the G's that are watching this channel, I need to leave you with this, all right? Your name, especially within these professional settings, especially as you begin to gain value in this world, and especially as you begin to have things that you can lose. Your discipline is your protection. Your name is your currency. Self-control within all of that will keep more assets, will keep more money in your pocket, will keep more peace in your life than any legal team ever will. So you have to be able to move with purpose as you think intelligently about reducing your risks around you. Do not ever let one reckless moment undo an entire lifetime of your work or of the value that you have contributed. I don't know how this case is going to turn out because she is going this hard. And obviously she's going this hard because he is a man with a lot of assets to extract. If this was some random dude off the street, it probably would have already been swept under the rug. But she wants that bag as a subset of what he's contributed if he did wrong by her. All right. So within that, let Jason be an example if proven guilty so that you can be the exception. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me within this content here today. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned something new. Shout out to Aura for sponsoring this video. I keep on telling y'all, the more that I do content like this and we talk about risk mitigation, all right, the more that you should be actively ensuring that your private information is not exposed on these public websites. I trust Aura to not only identify if I've been exposed, but also to remove it for me. Guys, utilize my link down below to get yourself 2 weeks free. At least utilize it in order to see if your information has been exposed. Go now. But all right, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Until next time. Peace.
So without further ado, MTR, cut through the BS like we in charge. No cap with the rappers like steel bars. I'm packing and rapping like here we are. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, comment, share my views. Come up and I paid my dues. Big step in my black way shoes. MTR. He break it down, yeah, it's MTR. Check out the sound when it's MTR. No one put it down like it's MTR.